3 killed in Kogi. Heads of security agencies in the state.
We have not been able to know the number of the children or the students that have been kidnapped. But what I can say here is that by the grace of God, under my able leadership, we will try as much as possible to ensure that every child return by the grace of God, inshallah. We are doing our best. I'm going to work with the community leaders. I want to work with the traditional rulers here, as well as the youth, to ensure that every child return back home by the grace of God.
And the National Broadcasting Commission has lodged an appeal against the ruling of the Federal High Court, which rejected the Commission's motion to overturn the Commission's motion to overturn a May 2023 judgment restraining it from imposing fines on radio and television stations. In the appeal filed by NBC's lead counsel, Babajide Koku, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, the Commission challenges the decision of the lower court and requested the appellate court to overturn the earlier judgment. The case originated from a suit filed by Abuja-based lawyer Noah Ajare on behalf of Media Rights Agenda, contesting the NBC's authority to fine broadcasters. This challenge arose following the imposition of 500,000 naira fines on 45 broadcast stations for alleged contraventions of the Nigerian Broadcasting Code in 2019. In his ruling, Justice James Omotosho emphasized that only courts of law have the authority of imposing sanctions for criminal offences, highlighting that the NBC lacked the judicial capacity to determine the guilt of broadcast stations despite provisions in the NBC Code. The appeal argues, among other grounds, that Justice Omotosho erred in refusing to set aside the judgment, alleging that it was obtained deceitfully and contending that the court has the inherent power to review and set aside its earlier judgment if fraud or deceit is subsequently demonstrated. The outcome of the appeal will be crucial in determining the extent of the NBC's regulatory powers and the procedures for imposing fines on broadcast stations. Now, despite facing numerous challenges, Martha Okafor, a resident of Kaduna, boldly pursued a career in an automobile mechanic and driven by her desire for self-reliance and commitment to contribute to her family and country's development. Born in Kaduna with origins in Enugu, Martha, now 22 years old, has found success in a chosen profession working as an automobile mechanic in Mogadishu, Kaduna metropolis. Trust TV's Bello Musa tells us Martha's story of determination and that of resilience.
Martha Okafor, a role model for women in society, encountered initial resistance even from her own family, but she remained steadfast in her pursuit. With the support of her boss, who provided mentorship and training, Martha overcome challenges, including skepticism from clients.
They will say woman is not going to be under the car, but if you follow what they say, you are not going to work. Number two, the other thing that guys used to do, they are not going to give you. But if you put your hair, you are going to do it. You have so many challenges here because so many people come and ask you unnecessary questions. How woman want to do this kind of work? As in, I would just say that I love the work.
Amidst the increasing cost of living, Martha encourages women to acquire skills to improve their lives.
I want to tell the old ladies to sit up. There's no more lazy person in this life. You don't depend on anyone. You may not be mechanic, you may be all that you have to learn, but you stand up and go and learn it. Because there's so many hard graduates outside there. No, but your handler is going to help you anywhere you went to. Your handler is going to help you and is going to feed you.
A high school graduate, Martha aspires to further her education in mechanical engineering and establish her own mechanic company, showcasing her ambition and determination.
I want to become that woman they always say, that what a man can do, a woman can do it more better. I want to become that woman that I can stand on my own, to be that successful woman in life.
Martha's resilience is seen posting the benefit of handwork, resilience and commitment, which has become an inspiration for young women in the society. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
And as the world commemorates the 2024 International Women's Day, women from various states across northeastern Nigeria has gathered in Kano for a women's livelihood exhibition and workshop. Organized by the United Nations Women and Center for Community Research and Development Networks, the event is themed Resilience in the Face of Terror, aimed at celebrating women from the Northeast. Here's a report.
In a powerful display of solidarity and empowerment, women hailing from various states in the northeastern region of the country gathered in Kano to mark the 2024 International Women's Day. These women and girls, who are the worst affected by conflict and climate change in Borno, Yobe and Adamawa states, now have a cause to celebrate. This exhibition is organized by UN Women and Center for Community Research and Development Networks to showcase the diverse entrepreneurial skills of these empowered women.
To Maiduguri for 28 kilometers. 28 February 2014.
I lived at Mafa, 48 kilometers to Maiduguri, and on 28 February 2014, I fled with my baby and we stayed at an IDP camp for a while. While at that camp, I was enrolled into this program where I was trained to process rice and given equipment to use in my work. I thank God because even my appearance has changed a lot.
Alhamdulillah, I na canja ai ko a fuska ma.
To lokacin da muke tare da mahaifina ba abin da muka nema muka rasa to daga bisani shigan Boko Haram din nan kasar mu.
I was living a good life with my parents before the Boko Haram problem came to our state. My father died, so we fled our state initially. On returning, all his properties have been taken over and I was married off to a 70-year-old man. I am grateful today to UN Women who have made us stand on our feet once again.
You know, when
I graduated from school, I don't have anything doing. I was idle until CCDRN came and helped me and connect me to UN Women through the help of people from Japan. So I got trained on tie and dye and bead making also, and from there they empowered me and I was able to train people, young people around me.
According to the organizers, these women's achievements are proof of unwavering strength and determination to thrive despite adversities. Hence, this program to further link them with available markets in Kano State.
We are not just looking at just empowering them, but also linking them to market. So that is why this workshop was organized. So the workshop was organized to see how we can link them to market. Well, after we have trained them and in producing the materials and also improving the quality of the materials through value chain addition, we want to link them to market. That's why we actually also brought the event to Kano.
After the advent of the insurgency activity that have ravaged almost the economic and the livelihood of the Northeast. So this event is to show the progress.
The 2024 International Women's Day in Kano served as an inspiration from the stories of resilience of these remarkable women.
And away from the northeastern part of the country now, students from various tertiary institutions in Imo State took to the street to protest against the high cost of living, exorbitant tuition fees and poor quality of education and infrastructure in their institutions. The protesters representing students from Federal University of Technology, Owerri, Futo, Imo State University, Owerri, Alvan Ikoko Federal College of Education, Owerri, Federal Polytechnic, Nekade, Owerri, and Imo State University of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences in Umuagwo, Ohaji, staged a peaceful demonstration in Owerri. They carried placards with messages highlighting their grievances, including the incessant increase in tuition fees, extortion through handouts and textbooks, lack of essential facilities such as electricity and boreholes, and poor living conditions. The students also decried the high cost of living and accommodation fees in Imo State, attributing it to the government's unfavorable economic policies, inadequate infrastructure, and rising unemployment rates. Valentine Nzubechi, the Vice President of the National Association of Nigerian Students, NAN, addressed the protesters, assuring them that both the federal and state governments would address their concern to improve the quality of education. At this point, let's go. You're still watching the news update on Trusted Television. Coming up shortly. FCT residents express mixed feelings over monthly rental payment. Details of this story and more after the break. Stay with us. You're welcome back. You're still watching news updates on Trust Television. A recap of some of our top headlines. We told you earlier that 3 killed in the Kogi Bank robbery. And the world commemorates 2024 International Women's Day. Moving on to more stories now. Residents of Games Village in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, were on Thursday shocked as the Secretariat of the Games Village Residents Association was razed to the ground. While stating that they had no prior notice regarding the demolition, they emphasized that the land was developed and transferred to them by the federal government. The report.
This is the new look of the Secretariat at Games Village, Abuja, a move that will lead to job losses for many in the FCT. Demolished and abandoned, all that remains is for the staff to pack up and go home with no prior notice of the impending job losses.
Our staff were inside the office and they were demolishing the building on top of them. We, through the grace of God, that we didn't lose any life. In fact, we are in a state of shock that I, as the president in charge of all these properties, I felt so bad. I was a director. I retired as a director of Ramisos. I've never seen this type of injustice meted on Nigerians.
It is not just the workers in the Secretariat. Benjamin Lawal's automobile workshop was also affected. An entrepreneur who had become an employee of over 50 individuals is now left jobless along with his staff.
They've done it one time this way. That is about 2017 thereabout. This is how they came in. They mob us all around. They destroy everything. The photographs are there for them too. And this particular case, I don't know what they are looking for. Is it the land? Is it the what? And they say the case is in the court.
The faces of these workers are now filled with disappointment, with nowhere else to turn to, as a source of livelihood has been abruptly taken away from them.
What is the investment they want to put here? Where is everybody just coming and wake up and organize a section of government parastatal and come and do this effort?
Games Village is just one of many areas that have faced demolitions, rendering numerous individuals homeless and others jobless. With no comprehensive plans for those affected, this situation is likely to contribute to an increase in criminality in the FCT.
In the Lagos State government has rolled out a monthly rental scheme which will be enforced before the end of 2024 or early next year, which is 2025. Already, 5 billion naira has been committed to the monthly rental scheme, which seeks to ensure that getting affordable accommodation becomes less difficult in big cities like Lagos. While many see it as a welcome development, some others are already asking if such a policy can replicate itself in the nation's capital, Abuja. Trust TV's Ibrahim Ismail speak to residents and property agents of the sustainability of this scheme at the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. His report.
The biggest challenge of living in Nigeria's capital, Abuja, is getting an affordable accommodation. With the current economic meltdown, it has become more difficult for low-income earners to pay their rent. In their city, landlords only rent out their property for the minimum of 1 year, with others setting a minimum rental subscription of 2 years. With the introduction of a monthly rental scheme in Lagos, residents of the FCT want it replicated in the country's capital.
Well, if it is like that, people can be able to prepare, because the essence that the landlord will give you in condition, okay, in 6 months' time, you have to pay me, in 6 months' time, you have to pay me instead of 12 months. You can be able to save and pay, or monthly. People can be able to sort out themselves and be able to pay the month. It will be convenient for them. Well, if I have my way, I will advise the government to continue housing estates so that it will limit the cost of individuals to exploit the masses. If government housing estate is being improved in diverse dimensions or in many ways, at least there will be a lot of houses that people can be able to afford.
Like monthly is not going to be like usable to the landlord, but half year is okay based on my earning. So if that regulation will be imposed, then I believe the tenants are going to be at least up. The distance will be affordable to them.
While some respondents support the monthly rental payment, others argue that the scheme may not be sustainable.
There's an allowance, housing allowance for us. So what we do is that we contribute it, gather it in a year and pay. Unlike say we should be paying monthly. Sometimes before the salary comes, some have even spent all the money. So it might really be difficult for people paying monthly housing for housing. It will be very difficult for me. So I still really prefer a yearly payment.
Although there is a bill at the National Assembly seeking to regulate payment of rent in the FCT, property agents who are major stakeholders in the housing industry argue that since tenants are already struggling with the yearly payment, they may not be able to meet up with the monthly payment. Landlord will feel oppressed to receive rent monthly. Even the yearly payments, it used to be difficult for some tenants to pay. Therefore, asking for rent at the end of each month will cause problem. Availability and cost of rental properties vary across different states, making it difficult to implement a uniform policy nationwide. But be that as it may, most Nigerians believe that implementing policies that provide affordable housing is necessary amidst the rising cost of living in the country. Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And away from issues concerning housing, now oil marketers represented by Major Energies Marketers Association of Nigeria are advocating for the de-dollarization of the downstream supply chain due to the increasing complexities caused by fluctuations in the foreign exchange market. At a media forum organized by Merman in Lagos Metropolis, Executive Secretary Clement Isong highlighted the challenges faced by members in importing premium motor spirit or petrol due to uncertainties in the forex market. He emphasized the difficulty in accurately calculating the landing cost of the product, which in turn affects determining the appropriate pump price. Isong pointed out that certain charges imposed by government agencies like the Nigerian Ports Authority and the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency (NIMASA) are dollar-denominated, contributed to the overall increase in the pump price of petroleum products. Despite the government's effort to intervene in the industry, Isong expressed concern over the detrimental effects of the dollarization policy on investment and industry stability, particularly citing the impact of fluctuating exchange rates. He provided an analysis on how the forex market influences the cost structure and illustrating how the current exchange rate significantly affects costs incurred by marketers and ultimately the pump price for consumers. In response to the rising costs, Merman is advocating for the adoption of alternative energy sources such as compressed natural gas and renewable energy like solar. Isong emphasized the importance of infrastructure development to facilitate the transition of these alternatives. And on the foreign scene, Haiti's government announced Thursday that it was extending a curfew to curb relentlessness of violent gang attacks that have paralyzed the capital of Port-au-Prince. And government officials said all public demonstrations are also prohibited in the metro area and beyond. Government in a statement said the police were ordered to use all legal means at their disposal to enforce the curfew and apprehend all offenders. Days of street violence have left destruction in the streets of the capital on Thursday. An initial 3-day curfew was announced last Sunday, but gangs have continued to attack police stations and other targets at night as Haiti's national police struggles to contain the violence with its limited staff and resources. The attacks began a week ago, shortly after embattled Prime Minister Ariel Henry announced general elections in mid-2025. And that brings us to the end of the news update at this hour. For more news, programming and documentary, follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Martia Umar. Thank you for watching and stay tuned.